What's up, guys? Today we're taking a look at a prop balancer I made for my LaTrax Alias quad. You can make this for about $7. I found all the parts in Home Depot. This down here is 3/16 inch cold rolled steel. The length on it is 6 inches. Up here we got some neodymium magnets, and the same on this side here. They come 3 in a pack. They're $3.98. 3 foot length of the cold rolled steel is $277. And then what I did was I went back to the scrap bin where they cut all the wood, and I found a piece of poplar. I like poplar because it's hard and it's straight. And I asked the guy, I said, hey, I says, could you cut me 2 pieces 1.5 inches wide? So we're talking 1.5 inches wide this way. I guess we got maybe 8-9 inches, probably more like 7 inches. So 9 inches maybe, from the bottom here up to the top. And brought the parts home, laid it out, marked all the holes. Down here on this one right here, it does not get drilled all the way through. I went about 3/4 of the way through, and then 3/16 works out to 187.5 thousandths of an inch. So I went just a hair lower. I used the number 13 bit, which is 185 thousandths, and I just pressed that in there with some JB Weld just to give it a little bit extra security. These here I went 2 thousandths over, so I think I used like a number 11 bit, which is 191 thousandths, or I might have used the number 10, which is 193.5, or 193.5 thousandths. And this slides on these rails back and forth, so you can use this for other props. And then I just used a spade bit, a 3/4 inch spade bit, and after centering it and making sure that this one and this one were at the same equal distance, I took the spade bit and I ran it down almost about the thickness of the magnet. I left it, you can kind of see, stick out just a little bit. I secured them with JB Weld, and all I did is push it to the bottom of the hole. Probably see it better on this side, so that they were both the same. The hardest part of this project is going to be making this shaft here, because your prop shaft on the Alias has a flat, and it mics out, the shaft itself mics out to 117 thousandths of an inch, but with that flat you cannot stick 117 thousandths through the back of this prop. It just, you can't do it. So I'd recommend turning some cold roll steel to 98 thousandths, 100 thousandths. It's less than 1/8. 1/8 works out to 128 thousandths of an inch. And then what I did was, you can see mine sticks through where the screw gets mounted into the prop shaft itself on the Alias. That screw mics out to 63 thousandths of an inch, which is 1 thousandth bigger than a 1/16 of an inch. The length, it doesn't really matter. I made mine, I think it was 1.5 inches, and then I don't know how well the camera's picking up, but the corners, the ends I should say, after I faced them, I put 45-degree angles on the shaft, and the prop shaft itself is, the magnet is only sticking on one side. This side does not stick, as you can see. And basically what this allows is you can just take that out and it centers itself. And the whole purpose of the prop balancer is to minimize vibration on your quad. It's to minimize vibration on helicopters, airplanes. So this balancer can be used with other forms of RC flight, such as helicopters and planes, other quads too. If your blade was hanging like that and it wasn't sitting level, and say it was hanging like that, well, or like that, well, there's too much plastic on that side, so you have to sand it off. And once you get it that way and you get it balanced, this one kind of needs a little bit of work yet, you're going to experience a better flight, and your video footage isn't going to have as much jello in it. You're not going to have that wobbly footage. So that's kind of the purpose of what it is for. And it's going to save your motors. It's going to give you a smoother flight, and it's going to give you a longer runtime because there's less friction. And that's your main goal, to get a smoother flight. So if you have any questions, post below. I'll answer them accordingly, and I'll do my best to answer them as quickly as possible. For those that don't have a lathe and want a tip, take a corded drill like I used to before I bought my lathe, and plug it into the wall and then mount it into a vise like this. Make sure it's level, and then take your stock and chuck it. Then use some files, coarse to fine, and some sandpaper, and then polish it up. Make sure you got a caliper, micrometer, and take a bit off, mic it, and turn it down that way. It's definitely not the best. The hardest part is keeping it true. When I say true, that means this part of the shaft to that little part of the shaft should be, when it spins, true. It shouldn't wobble at all. It should be nice and true. So when you spin that, you're not getting any type of hump on this end or that end. What you're seeing there now, of course, is because of the magnet going up and down. But that's an alternative that I used to use, and parts came out pretty good. I've never done aircraft that way, but I've used it for RC, such as the USA-1, the RC-10. I made tons and tons of parts without spending ridiculous amounts of money on the junk that they have out there just to break it and then buy more. So thanks for watching, and tune in again.